Uh, what's up, everybody? This is the No Name Podcast, episode 2. I am, of course, your host, Brandon Simeone, and this is a different location than what I shot in the last time. I'm currently at work. I work on a construction site that is basically abandoned. Nobody ever comes here. So I end up sitting here overnight a lot, doing nothing. So I said, why don't I just record? I am very happy because there used to be a little alarm sound that I couldn't ever shut off. It finally stopped. So yeah, audio-wise, this is going to be very echoey. There are rooms I could probably go in, but the lighting's not great, and I got to stay on the first floor just so I can look out the door in case I see somebody come by or anything like that. Anyway, I want to talk to you guys about depression. The best way I can, from my own point of view, on how you could go about it. This is just my life experience and how I've done things and how I've dealt with things. I mean, I'm know-it-all expert. If you think whatever I'm saying is a total crock of, poop, I don't know when I could start cursing. I'm gonna wait 5 minutes in before I start letting the curse words fly a little bit. I'm gonna try my best, but yeah, I want to talk to you guys about depression and stuff because that seems to be a very big thing in reality now. I think everyone starts to realize it as they get older. I am 26. I will be 27 in August. And depression has been a part of my life for many years. Diagnosed depression and having depression when I was about 16. I got diagnosed with anxiety, depression, stuff. I mean, the fact that I have ADHD didn't help it. So it made it worse, which that even itself could be its own episode. I'll talk about that in the future because I've learned so much about that, but I want to stick with depression. I guess it could start from, what you grow up with and how you grow up. I mean, I grew up in an Italian, very Americanized Italian family. My dad worked, my mom took care of me and my brother growing up, and yeah, that's how that worked. My dad worked. He came home, left dad alone. My mom dealt with the day-to-day operation things with me and my brother to the best of her abilities. And, there was stress on us sometimes because, well, not purposely, but when I was a kid, I had to go to a lot of doctors because I was born premature. I was born 3 months early, and I had a lot of health issues growing up. I didn't talk until I was about 2.5. Me walking, I was born paralyzed on my right side of my body. So my right side of my body is still to this day weaker than my left. I do favor my left side more, which is probably why I have arthritis and shoulder pains, because I favored my left side so much in my life. But growing up, going to different doctors and physical therapists, as well as some therapists talking to me about these things. And it just never seemed as weird to me, I just thought this was normal. My mom being sick as a kid when I was little, it was a traumatizing moment for me in my life. My mom had to go get an iron infusion. You have iron in your body. She had to get hers transfused. You know what I mean? Like a blood transfusion type thing. I don't know if it was a blood transfusion or an iron transfusion. It was one or the other. But she was sitting there at the machine. I'm sitting there with her. I'm about 6 or 7 years old. And me with my ADHD and the way I acted, paying attention was not a strong suit in my head. I couldn't pay attention to anything. And my mom started freaking out. She started not being able to breathe. She grabbed me and said, Brandon, I need you to listen very closely to mommy. Go get that nurse right there at that desk. Get her to come here as fast as you can. And then go get grandma. And I'm like, okay, mommy, is everything okay? Yeah, my mom's trying to stay calm as she's possibly dying because she's allergic to iron. She's allergic to it. She has my family's fucking medical history in general is very weird and complicated. So to explain that is probably a book in of itself. But so I had to go get get the nurse to help my mom, and then go get my grandma. And from that moment on, I was terrified of doctors and hospitals because my mom was sick and it scared me. I acted happy like when I saw her and she told me I'll be okay, because that's what you tell a kid. You don't just tell them like, hey, mom's not gonna be okay, you know. But from that point on, as I got older, it just got worse. Yeah, I was traumatized from that, and then I was traumatized with my brother from his accident, because he got into a car accident when I was about 9 years old, and he got hit by a car, and seeing him in the hospital scared the hell out of me. I remember I thought he was dead. So like he got hit by a car, they put him in the car and whatever. They put him in the ambulance, they took him to the hospital, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought my brother was dead. And then his friends were coming, like in the ER waiting room, trying to cheer me up. You know, they were literally throwing money at me, like giving me ones, and I didn't even take the money. I don't know if I did or not. And my mom was in there with my brother the whole time, trying to see what was going on with him. And my dad's sitting there with me, trying to cheer me up and trying to talk to me. I remember my aunt coming and my brother's girlfriend at the time coming there and trying to ask me what was going on. I didn't know. And I remember we were sitting there and I heard a loud beep, thinking it was my brother flatlining. Because just heard a loud beep, and I thought that was him flatlining. I flipped out and I ran through the doors, and I'm like, where's my brother? My mom saw me, grabbed me, and she said, no, Danny's okay. Do you want to see him? And I'm like, yeah. And she tried to tell me, look, Danny doesn't look like Danny right now because he got hit his face hit the freaking hood of the car and smacked the ground. So his face is all busted up and puffy. He's like, it looked like Danny got into a fight. So my mom trying to explain that to me the best she can, as fast as she can. And I saw my brother, and I'm like, oh, I thought you died. And I'm like, he's like, I didn't die, stupid. I'll be okay? And then he told me this later on in life. Apparently, he did flatline after talking to me. Because a bunch of doctors ran around and my mom got pushed out. My mom took me out. She ran back in to see what was going on. And from that moment until the next morning, I didn't go to school. From the next morning, I thought my brother was dead. And I went, and my godfather picked me up from the hospital. He was trying to talk to me, trying to cheer me up. He's like, oh, Danny's going to be fine. You know your brother, he's a tough guy. He'll be okay. And I just said, your nephew is dead. I went to their house and I saw my aunt. And I looked at her, I'm like, your nephew's dead. And it was me, my cousin Austin, my cousin Tyler. We were all sleeping over. Well, they all slept over because, my aunt's at the hospital. And my mom's sister's at the hospital, and the aunt I stayed at was my mom's cousin, stayed at her house, and me, her son Tyler, and my cousin Austin were all sitting in bed, they're trying to cheer me up because I'm the younger one, and I'm like 9, my cousin's 11, my cousin Tyler's like 14, so they're trying to cheer me up, trying to make me, hey, Danny's gonna be okay, laugh, come on, cheer up, Brandon. And I just said, my brother and your cousin is probably dead. And they were just like, oh God, what do we do? And they didn't know if that was true or not. They were upset. And then the next morning, I got a phone call. It was from the hospital. My mom's like, it was Danny. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, are you calling from heaven? He's like, no, I'm not calling from heaven, you idiot. He's like, I'm alive. I'm good. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be okay. All right. I'm just going to be in the hospital for a little while. And that made it worse, my fear of hospitals and the anxiety of that. And that's just all before I got diagnosed, because then going on forward, I was in 12-to-1 classes, which is a nice way of saying I was in the special ed classes. Because I had a learning disability. I had ADHD. I couldn't focus right. My reading comprehension skills were horrible. They're better now. But I was just at this moment of my life where I was just, I don't fit in anywhere. I don't know really how to act around certain people. I don't know what to do or what's okay. I'm just going to try my best to be myself. And people didn't like that. I was too, in my eyes, I was too honest for people. To a lot of them. The people didn't like my honesty. I was very honest, and I couldn't just shake my head and go along with something. I started realizing that with me when I went into high school, because I had a group of friends who were, one kid we all listened to, and I was just always questioning why are we doing this? That's weird. Like, they all like to drink like vodka and orange juice and stuff like that when we were in high school together, and I wasn't big on it. Like, I thought, like, some things about that, and it wasn't my big thing. And kids just didn't care. Like, everyone just wanted to drink and just have sex with people. That's kind of like what happened with the group of kids I hung out with. I hung out with, like, the misfits in high school, like with the weirdos and the kids that everyone looked at, and, girls would walk around being like, yeah, send nudes to a guy, I don't care. And they still don't to this day, but they do in some ways, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. But I was just very awkward, and I tried my best to fit in. And sometimes, like, my freshman year of high school, I started realizing my anger and my depression were one. Like, they were one and the same. Like, I was angry because I was depressed and I was sad all the time. So I would get into fights on a losing end about 95% of the time, or 99% of the time, because I was an idiot and I would say stupid things. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And that's just what happened. I would just say the dumb things to the wrong people. I'd look at people too long, and some people didn't like that. I opened my mouth when I shouldn't have. And I'm not saying I had a right to say whatever the fuck I want, but at this point in time in life too, people believe that they still can with that type of situation. But it was at that point I was really depressed, and it was the freshman year of my sophomore year. I was 16, and I was just chronically depressed. Like, I hated life, I hated living. I screamed I wanted to die at the top of my lungs in my house, crying. Like, I want to die, where's a knife, give me a knife. I went to go grab a knife, my brother ripped it out of my hand, was yelling at my mom like, look, we need to get Brandon to fucking therapy. There's something wrong here. And I was on Ritalin at the time, and that's for people with ADHD. We went to therapy. My mom says he needs medication. I said, I don't. I just want to talk. The doctor said it might be a good idea to put you on something, because from what you just explained to me and what your mother explained to me is the same story. Basically, you need something, or else it seems like you need to be hospitalized. Those are your two options. And so I said, fine. They put me on something. I didn't like it. It made me feel miserable. So they put me on something else. Again, felt miserable. Then they finally tried paroxetine, which is Paxil. I think I was like on like a low dosage, and it worked. It worked, but at the same time, I was taking that for a couple of years with my Ritalin, and I just didn't like the way it was making me feel. So I told my mom I need to stop the Ritalin, and I was about 18 anyway, so we stopped that. I just started taking the Paxil more, and it was helping, and it helps, and it still helps to this day. Now with, I'm 26 now. Legally, I go out and I buy weed, and I smoke weed and take my medication, and I'm good. It's just somebody like me with ADHD, my focus is so skewed, is so trying to focus on one thing. Like, the low points are extremely low. And that's something I've tried to explain to people. Like, I always thought I was a unique case, but then somebody I know, who's not my friend at all, at least I don't think, me and him said, we had a conversation about something, and he's like, no, you're neurodivergent, which I always thought that was just a term for people with autism. I'm like, is he saying I have autism? And then he was explaining to me how, like, no, you are also in that realm of that group of people, because your brain is wired differently. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then when that got told to me, and people may think I'm insane for thinking this, but I believe, like, your phone listens to you. So after that whole conversation of us having a conversation about neurodivergency, a little bit, it was like 5 minutes out of the hour-long conversation we had about sub-person that we were mainly talking about. All my phone would give me in videos and stuff in response to me would be things about ADHD, people with ADHD, how to cope with depression if you have ADHD, advertisements for books, articles, all these things would just... So I truly believe that, like, the computer and stuff listens to you and things of that nature. So it's just funny to me. Also, you can tell I'm Italian and I have ADHD too because I talk a lot with my hands and I can't sit still, which is why I feel like a podcast would be horrible with me because I'd be moving a lot. But I'm doing pretty good. I just want to take a drink. Just some soda. But yeah, depression, it's hell. Trying to deal with it in your own ways. And it's not even like more recently I've realized with myself, with my depression, if I want to do something basic like go to work, my body literally tells me, all right, you're not getting up for the rest of the day though. You can't do fucking anything or else you're not going to work. Because if you try to go into work and you're not in bed all day beforehand, you're going to hate it and you're going to be miserable and you're going to be manic and you're going to be pacing and you're going to be having so much anxiety for today that you are not going to want to be in the building. Like, it's bad. So I have to do that. And it's getting worse too because most recently I promised I think it was like in March, I told one of my friends, like, hey, me and you will go to this thing, we'll go to like this club together, me and you will hang out, we'll have fun. And I flaked on her. And it wasn't my fault. I mean, it was my fault because I didn't show up. I hate using like my depression as the crutch, but it's just I couldn't mentally and physically get myself out of the house, out of bed. I was terrified to leave. I became very afraid of going outside because lately, and even now, like I see people happy and it hurts me. Like, I want to be like that. I want to be happy. I want to be like these people. What are they doing in their lives that I'm not doing? Like, that I can have this. And everyone's like, go to the gym, go eat better. I've tried it. It just doesn't work. Like, mentally, like, I can't afford a gym because it's just I'm paying $50 a month for something I don't go to all the time because whether or not it's like work or my discipline or whatever, it's just mentally, it's just draining to me. And just driving to the gym, it seems annoying. So I bought like these exercise bands and I've been doing them at least every day, at least a little workout here and there, 5-10 minutes a day, maybe more depending on if I'm up and I have some energy to do it, just keep my arms and stuff in check. It's something like, it gives me something to do. And I walk around like crazy, like at this job. I pace this little hallway here. I walk inside the building. I walk outside the building. If I go to lunch, I go take a little walk on top of it. I'm always doing something. I'm always walking. I don't drive my car anymore because, I gotta get something fixed on that. But I'm always trying to do something. It's just interacting with people is been more hard now because my circle of friends is like this. I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 people I can call a friend nowadays. And, you use these internet dating sites and all these things, try to maybe make a connection with somebody, talk to somebody. It's all fake people. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to hang out with you or anything like that. It's whatever. They just want to get your money and do that, And when you're depressed, it's hard because it's like you see these people and you think these people are people, so is everyone like this? Like, I always think everything, like, I can forgive you for what you've done to me, but the memory of what you did will always be in my head and it will never fucking leave. It's that bad. And it's something, it's not just a me thing, it's my family has always been like that, and we overthink everything, and I've done everything I possibly could to break that habit of mine, but it's just there. My relationship with people is very weird. I'm very trusting. I can't half-ass anything. A lot of people that I used to hang out with told me, you got to go into stuff and not expect the world out of it. And I'm like, yeah, but if I put my all into it, how am I not supposed to expect at least 50 back at it? And I don't even get 50. I barely sometimes get 20. Like, look, if you're working for someone, hey, a good job is something that's nice. once in a while. A pay raise, that's redeemable, you know what I mean? Or something like that. It's just the ass kissing I can't do. And I think that's what pisses people off about me. They're like, you can go so far in life. And I told them, I'm not going to sit there and be an ass kisser. But so then they're like, all right, fine. Then we're going to make sure you're never happy and you're never going to go anywhere in life and fuck you. Except without saying the words, fuck you. I would like, I know it sounds wrong. I would rather have a boss call me a fucking piece of shit asshole and us have our little fucking argument to each other. Maybe one of us throws a punch. And then, like, I get pulled away from him. He gets pulled away. He goes his way. I go that way. And we're still working. Like, the old school way of how things went. And I know nowadays it's not how that works. I mean, would I not fucking file something against the boss if he threw hands on me? Hell yeah. Especially if I knew my boss had money. Are you kidding me? That's just how I am. This podcast is fucking all over the place. I'm sorry. But back to what I was trying to say about depression. Best ways to deal with it. For me, it's writing. I've been trying to write jokes and comedy. As you kind of see, I've been trying to be funny here and there. It is about, what time is it right now? It is 1:43 in the morning as I'm filming this. And, yeah, it's covering somebody at work. I gotta figure out how to get sponsors. I can at least attempt to make some money out of this. I know my last episode did nothing, so I don't expect this one to do anything else. This is gonna be posted on Monday. I'm gonna try to post every 2 weeks, like a little thing. Again, I can't make promises. My first episode, I said I was gonna post every Monday, and it's how I feel mentally, and it's how I will try to motivate myself for this. But I don't really know what really to do in realms of content or what to talk about. So I'm trying to figure that one out. I like the No Name podcast thing. I think that's funny. I gotta see if that's trademarked. I gotta go down that route. I do comedy. I scheduled myself to do one on Sunday, so that's gonna be fun. Let's see how that goes. It's just, here's my other problem. I'm a yes man. I'm a people pleaser. I will try to make everyone around me happy, so maybe they'll still like me at the end of it, but I don't realize people are using me. That's what happened with my previous friendship with a person who I considered a best friend, a brother. I knew him for about 8 years, and he used me. And same thing more recently with my ex-fiance. She cheated on me. I don't know what her reason was behind all of it. She never explained that part, because I had to find out she was cheating on me months after the fact, because she left and she was telling me how she just needed time to think. Well, her thinking was her hopping on somebody else's penis, and it was just bad, at least to me. That's all a story in and of itself. I'm gonna have to change names if I tell that story, because last thing I need is someone hearing about that and I get into a whole freaking argument with somebody online over it. That's the other thing. I'll just stop and let people talk crap to me if it means they'll be my friend still. I'll let people roast me, talk down to me, treat me like a dog if they'll still be willing to be my friend to hang out with me. And that's a habit that I have broken to the best of my abilities. I mean, again, I don't talk to many people anymore. I really don't, because I was hurt so bad by those two people that I don't want anybody around me anymore. I don't let people no one comes to my house anymore. Nobody. I don't want anybody in my house, period. I'm never going to have anybody live with me again. She lived with me. And she left, and she helped a lot of the stuff that she gave that we bought. Well, she mainly bought, but I helped her buy a lot of it. And I had to get rid of a lot of it. Shout out to my real friend. Gave it to her for her and her kids. So I had to give her a lot of it, and that was hard. That took me a while to accept that one, giving up her clothing. I mean, I threw everything in garbage bags and threw them in a back room and tried to forget them. But when you're looking at that room and you're looking at the life you were trying to grow with that person, it's hard. And it was just, I'm still healing from that, but I would love to go out on dates and try meeting new people. Again, I'm just socially weird. I didn't have many friends. I was always hanging out with older people, and I was a younger kid, so they were like, we're going to bars, you can't come with us. I was an 18-year-old hanging out with 21 and 30-year-olds, and I was getting invited to places because I'm Brandon. I didn't look like the type of kid that could sneak into a bar at the time. But now I'm 26. And yeah, most of the people I know who I kind of talk to, I would love to hang out with, are married or have kids, and their time is very schedule oriented, so it's weird trying to figure out that crap, which is cool. I mean, all good to them. I'm happy that people are happy and they have their lives and their families and their kids. You have what I want. And it was something I told my friend about this. Like, my dream was to be a dad. My dream was to be a husband, be a provider. I watched my dad do it. I watched my grandfathers do it. I watched my uncles do it to an extent. But my grandfathers, my dad do it, and I idolize them. I still do. I still idolize my grandfathers. I idolize my dad. I hope I could be a third of a man that he is. And that's what I wanted to be for so long. Like, I was so, I was in my own world where it's like, my life is perfect. I may not have money or an amazing job, but I have a woman who loves me. We're engaged. We're going to get married. I have my best friend by my side. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm content. I think right when I said that, the world's like, and the monkey wrench, and everything just started crumbling. And I tried mending and fixing things to the best of my abilities, and there's still a part of me now that wishes they would come back. We can just go back to when things were used to, but there's still a part of me inside, like, don't hurt yourself again with them. Because if you let them back in, they're just going to hurt you again. You got to move on. You got to move forward. It's hard, but you got to. And that's what I would tell anybody here. It's hard to sit there and swallow that pill, but we have to. It's easier said than done. Trust me, that word has been used on me since I was a kid. You have to keep going. Self-motivation is one of the hardest things for someone, especially me, people with ADHD. I heard it's like one of the hardest things in the world. I have no self-motivation. I have been trying to. That's why I've gone up and done comedy, even if I failed. Even going out there, not writing down jokes or using what I've written. It's me spitballing out my mouth, It's not a good thing to do. Don't do that. Actually go up and try doing written material. It's very hard for me to do that because I have to get more focused on that. But but it's just self-motivation is the hardest thing to do. I'm not the one to go to if you want advice on that because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. If you have any tips or conversation, go in the comment section and just be supportive of each other. Be kind to one another. The world is in need of kindness. I know there's a lot going on with wars and financial problems and equal rights and things of that nature, but I think most importantly the world needs more. It's just more people to go up to someone and say, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? How's your day going? Simple conversations like that. We've lost that in this world. And I think that's why more people have depression now, because we feel like there is nobody else there, but there are. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, probably even billions of people every day walking this earth with depression who are afraid to talk to people. I came from a family where we said our problems are our problems. Let's not speak on them. I'm not saying for everyone to call up there or go up to the next person who's coming down the street going, my dad abused me when I was growing up. Like, go actually talk to a therapist about that. But if you can confide into someone, you two can have a conversation about it. And that's the opening of it, to you maybe seeking help, or maybe finding a path of where you could heal from those wounds. It's something that the world could use more of. And I know this has been all over the place in this podcast. I'm just gonna, I don't even know what to even call this one. I think I might just call it depression. But anyway, guys, my name is Brandon Simeone. This has been the No Name Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Peace.